You know, when we think about leadership, our minds usually jump to big, grand gestures, right? Huge decisions. But what if the most powerful tool a leader has is, well, it's language? Today, we're going to dive into L. David Marquette's incredible idea that the words we choose, day in and day out, can literally be the difference between a team that thrives and one that tragically fails.
But to really get a feel for the stakes here, we have to start with a pretty dramatic and tragic question. How can something as simple as the words people use sink a massive 790-foot cargo ship in the middle of a hurricane?
Well, this is the story of the El Faro. On September 29, 2015, it sailed right into the path of a storm that was getting worse by the minute. The captain, totally confident in his own authority, made a huge call without really checking in with his crew. And as that storm exploded into a full-blown hurricane, some of the crew members, they tried to speak up, but their words were cautious, their concerns were kind of downplayed, and on October 1st, those warnings went unheard, and the ship, along with all 33 souls aboard, was lost.
What's really chilling is the language they recovered from the ship's black box. The captain's words, "We're good, we'll just have to tough this one out." Those weren't just casual remarks. No way. They were powerful signals. It's like they built this invisible wall that made it feel impossible to question authority. Compliance was really the only option left.
You see, the loss of the El Faro wasn't just a simple mistake in navigation. It was a massive leadership failure. And it's a really stark example of a much bigger problem. That crew was operating from a totally outdated playbook, one that was built for the predictable world of industrial-age factories, not the unpredictable chaos of a modern crisis.
Let's just break down the difference here. The old playbook, it's all about control. The main goal is just getting people to comply, and the method is basically coercion. It creates this culture of conformity where everyone's real job is just to prove they're not screwing up. The new playbook, it flips all of that on its head. The goal is real, genuine commitment, and you get there through collaboration. It fosters connection, and the whole mindset shifts from just proving you're right to constantly improving together. So here's the bottom line. That old system was designed for a world of predictable, repeatable tasks. It was built for efficiency and obedience on an assembly line, right? But it just completely falls apart when it's faced with a dynamic crisis like a hurricane, where thinking, adapting, and challenging the plan are absolutely essential for survival.
Okay, so to build a new playbook, Marquet gives us this fantastic new framework for understanding work itself. It's a really simple but profound distinction between two modes, what he calls Redwork and bluework.
So Redwork, that's the doing. It's all about execution, efficiency, reducing errors. The language is stuff like, get it done, just make it happen. Bluework, on the other hand, is the thinking. It's creativity, it's planning, it's decision-making. It actually embraces variability and asks, okay, what do we all think? The crew of the El Faro was completely stuck in Redwork, just executing the bad plan, when they desperately needed to shift into bluework. Bluework is that critical space for thinking together. It's where you can reflect, adapt, innovate. It is the work that allows a team to hit the pause button and say, wait a minute, this plan isn't working anymore. We need a new one. And that was the very thing that was completely missing on the bridge of the El Faro.
All right, so how do we intentionally make space for that crucial blue work? The great thing is, Marquet doesn't just give us a theory, he gives us a whole new playbook. He outlines 6 specific plays. These are practical, language-based shifts that any leader can use to completely transform their team's dynamic.
These are basically the new rules of the game. It's all about shifting from just reacting to being in control. You control the clock, you don't just obey it. It's about empowering people. You collaborate instead of coerce, because you want real commitment, not just compliance. And it's a whole new mindset. You focus on learning and improving, not just proving you're right. And on building genuine human connection, not just demanding everyone conform.
This quote just perfectly captures the spirit of that collaborate play. It's a fundamental change. A leader's job, especially in bluework, isn't to have all the answers and force everyone to agree. It's to be curious, to ask questions, and to actively invite people to disagree, to make absolutely sure the best ideas get heard.
Okay, let's bring this all together and go right back to the beginning. We've seen the tragedy, we've diagnosed the problem, and we've learned the tools. So, what if we could rewrite the final hours of the El Faro, but this time using this new playbook?
Just imagine it. Same ship, same crew, same hurricane brewing on the horizon. The only thing that changes
is the language of leadership.
So, first, as the weather reports get worse, the captain doesn't just barrel ahead. He uses the control the clock play. He calls for what he calls a mariner's minute, a deliberate, planned pause to just think. That single action stops the forward momentum of Redwork and opens the door for bluework.
And then he uses the collaborate play. Now, this is brilliant. Instead of saying what he thinks, he asks everyone to vote on the best route before any discussion starts. This simple trick completely flattens the hierarchy. All of a sudden, the most junior person's opinion is seen, and the quietest, most hesitant voices finally get heard.
And through this collaborative process, a new consensus starts to form. A safer route. Yeah, it's a bit longer, is chosen. And because everyone had a voice, the outcome isn't just reluctant compliance. It's true commitment. The entire crew is now fully bought in on the new plan.
And the result of all this? The El Faro arrives in San Juan 6 hours late, but all 33 crew members arrive alive. A small shift in language, a different playbook, and you get a completely different, life-saving outcome.
So this leaves us with one final, really crucial question for all of us to think about. I want you to look at your own team, your own organization, your own leadership style. Are you using language that demands compliance, or are you using language that invites real commitment? Which playbook is your team really using?